How is it going, fellow collectors? Klutzy Joe coming at you with yet another review, and this time we're going to be looking at the NECA Godzilla vs. Biollante Ultimate Godzilla figure. Now, for those of you who he's also known as Godzilla 1989 in the kaiju world, aside from Bio-Goji. He ends up having a couple of names. Anyways, this figure is actually pretty cool, and I was super stoked to have finally gotten this guy in the mail. I did say that I was actually gonna make a review of this guy when I made the Tokyo SOS figure. The review was up at my profile. Please go ahead and do it. Check it out. Let me know what is it that you end up thinking about that. But anyways, enough of the plugging. This figure is just awesome. All right. Right off the bat, you get greeted with the poster right here of Godzilla vs. Biollante, and I will tell you guys, I'm super stoked that we are supposed to be getting a special edition, one that ends up having the that is going to end up having some deleted scenes, which is what this figure is actually based off of. Now, aside from that, you're doing getting to see this beautiful artwork right here, which will be on the movie, if I remember correctly. But this is also the poster that was in the theaters way back when. So that's actually pretty cool. Right here on the side, you do get to see 65-year celebration. That's actually real nice. Right here, you get to see some of the profile for the movie, and you also get to see Godzilla's promo shot. So that's actually real nice. And again, another poster right here at the top. You end up getting to see Godzilla vs. Biollante. Very nice, along with the NECA logo at the bottom. Well, there isn't really much. So, anyways, enough about that. Let's open up the window box packaging and. Whoa, folks. Oh, man, I do end up loving this. Now, you're greeted with Godzilla right here. You get to see that he ends up having the flame effect. And right here, this is to recreate the deleted scene, which is the little flower, a rose garden, where Godzilla is actually standing by. And Biollante is actually all these things actually pop up because of Biollante's power, if I remember correctly. So they kind of bloom, which is nice. Right here, you also get to see a promo shot that you get to see Biollante's essence, energy, mana. I guess we'll just call it mana. Is actually flying on over to past the sky on over to Biollante. So that's actually pretty cool. I do end up loving that. Very nice presentation. NECA has always done real good presentations. So now let's crack this figure open and let's see what's up, man. And whoa, you guys, I gotta be honest with you. You know what? I'm kind of geeking out right here because I am a big fan of Godzilla. I did end up loving the last figure that they made, and with this one, I think that they just knocked it out of the park. Now, obviously, for all of you Godzilla sticklers, yes, there are some little defects here and there that could have been a lot more better. But either way, as it is, I mean, it does end up looking real nice. If you really want to see him in dramatic lighting, I think that I can actually do that. Let me just see. There we go. All right, you know what? I'm gonna keep. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that. It looks nice. All right, so you get to see Godzilla just looking real nice, especially with the little cat face that they gave him. I don't know why is it that they did that, folks. I mean, it looks a little bit weird, but it looks awesome at the same time. You know, and this Godzilla as it is, I mean, he does end up looking real nice. There's gray wash on over to this thing. There's actually little black black painted on some of these things, but it does look nice. You know, it looks real nice. I do end up loving how is it that this figure actually came on out. The dorsal plates still end up looking real nice and gray, although this lighting is actually really. Hold on, let me just turn this off, and yeah, there you go. You get to see some very light, very bright white little the shoulder pad, the oh my god, the dorsal plates end up having a nice white on over to them with a little bit of a shading right here. So that's actually pretty cool. That's actually real nice. And his hands also end up having this real cool bone-like paint on over to them. Looks real nice. You know, as I said, I do end up liking that. The teeth also kind of end up having like this bone look to him, so that's actually pretty cool. But look at the detailing inside of the mouth. Now, if you're asking yourself why is it looks like if he ends up having, oh no, there we go. And why does he end up having a port is because of the flame effect, and this is the only other accessory that comes with this Godzilla. So yeah, it isn't much, I know, but it still ends up looking real nice, you know. Aside from that, let's look at the flame effect. It ends up looking real nice. It does end up having a spiral effect, which is how Godzilla used to fire it in this movie. So that's actually pretty accurate. And there's some white on over to it. I think that it was white, but they ended up putting some blue wash here and there, and it does end up looking very glossy. So yeah, it's real nice. It's gonna be real good for photography. As for Godzilla himself, you know what? There's even the same kind of paint that he ends up having right here at the nails in his hands. Is also present right here at the toes, which is actually a big thing because NECA did end up having some issues with that a while ago when their Godzilla line actually started. So that's actually pretty cool. Now, if we're going to look at articulation, let's just see. He's able to look up about that much. He's able to look down about that much. He ends up having an articulated neck as well. So there's ball jointed head, ball jointed neck. That's actually pretty cool. And mouth does end up having a hinge. He does end up doing the whole ball jointed feature. As you got to see, the torso is also connected with a ball joint. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Leaning from side to side, which is a very big thing when it comes down to Godzilla figures. You know, it's not something that Godzilla usually does in the movies, but it's still real nice, you know, for posing. His arms do end up opening about this much. Alright, so that's actually pretty cool. Able to rotate a full 180. Also ends up having a bicep hinge. A bicep elbow. A single jointed elbow, but there's full rotation at the elbow, so that's actually real nice. Full rotation at the hands as well. There's a hinge at the wrist, and his hands are fingers are articulated, so that's actually pretty cool. Aside from that, he is able to open up about, I don't want to open it anymore, but about that much. And his knees, I don't think I've ever articulated the knees, so yeah, that's one thing. There we go, for the review. There we go. So alright, there we go. So single jointed knees, so that's actually pretty cool. There is still, I think that there's supposed to be rotation at the knees, but yeah, there is, but I don't want to push it anymore because I don't want to get this figure loose. And there is also rotation right here at the ankles there with a little bit of pivot, not a lot. Almost none, you know, but that's actually pretty cool. Where this thing actually shines is on the tail, as you get to see there. All these, all right, articulated, articulation, 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 yeah, articulation, 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 and a single piece right here. So all this makes real good movement, which it leaps and bounds from anything that SH Monster Arts actually did with their articulated Godzilla tails. This is actually real nice. I'm loving how this guy ends up looking. Just wow, folks. I do end up loving this. Now, for size comparison, I do end up having a couple of figures, and that is the 1962 King Kong vs. Godzilla figure. Now, I was a little curious about this because this one is supposed to come with flame effect, just like as this one. And so I wanted to know if I could actually port this on over to this one. Let's give it a shot. And it's the first time on the video, so let's just see. Period. And oh, that's cool. Look at that. Look at that. Real cool articulation. Now these figures are actually provided to me by my little brother. He's the one that is a big fan of all Godzilla things, and anything that, you know, anything Godzilla related, he ends up getting it. You know, with the exception of two that I'm making the reviews for. So yeah, height wise, it's actually pretty. You get to see that in a way, yeah, 62 Goji is a little bit taller. You know, let's just put them right here, face to face, and yeah, you get to see 62 Goji is a little bit taller. Anyway, so enough of that one. The next one is the 1964 Mosu Goji Godzilla versus Mothra figure. For all of you, for all of you North American purists, when it comes down to these movies, and you're getting to see that, yes, again, this is another figure that is taller than the Heisei Goji, but it really doesn't matter because, I mean, these suits were, I want to know if they are accurate to the suit. I mean, to the suit's accurate, I mean, size accuracy, I think that they might be, but yeah, you get to see that they are very close, but still Mosu Goji is actually taller, and doing up loving this guy, you know. Really recommend you guys buying him, you know. Aside from that, we also end up having the NECA GMK Godzilla. Now, this is actually Godzilla 2001. This is pre-millennium Goji, so that's actually pretty cool. It does look like it ends up having a port as well, so let's give it a shot. Let's put this thing in, make it look like if it can actually, it looks like it might, and no, it doesn't. Oh wait, ooh, there we go. Ooh, nice. Look at that. So yeah, the flame effect actually works on this one. Nice. All right. So anyways, that's enough of that. We also the other addition to the last in the line series of Godzilla figures, and that is the Tokyo SOS NECA Godzilla. And again, this one is, for me, it's still the king, but damn does it come so close. Yeah, there's just no way. This is ridiculous, you know. This figure is just so much more taller than this Godzilla, you know. It's not, you know, it's not a bad thing, but either way, it just looks amazingly awesome. So let's just get this guy out of the way. And next, we end up having the Ultraviolet Beam Shin Godzilla. I know that a lot of people want to call this one the you know, atomic breath, but no, this is ultraviolet, folks. I mean, when just look at everything, ends up having a violet glow on over to it. But anyways, let's not argue with semantics right here. This thing is actually pretty cool. As you get to see from side to side, it's still not in the, well, actually, you know what? Hey, congrats. You see, Godzilla finally ends up beating one in height. You know, and that's actually pretty cool. And you know what? I'm just noticing right now that I haven't 4100% stood this guy up. So yeah, it's still not much of a difference, folks. You get to see that, yeah, beats the atomic breath Shin Godzilla. Although to be fair, this guy just cannot stand up straight due to the nature of the figure. So yeah, this is about as well as it's gonna get, you know, folks. So we'll get out of the way. And next we have Big 54 himself, okay? This is the original 1954 Godzilla from NECA. And yeah, this one is almost, these guys are almost the same height. You know, I could actually kind of say that they are pretty much about the same height, with the exception of this guy's dorsal fin. I mean, dorsal plate's actually starting up from up here, whereas you get to see that this one doesn't end up having them, but they're not as big as this guy. So yeah, does this guy end up having like a flame effect attachment? And no. Okay, so last but not least, here he is standing with the originator of the entire NECA Godzilla line. Now, I do also end up having Godzilla 1985, but I can't for the life of me find it right now. Anyways, very, very big differences that I end up seeing, you know, with, it just comes to show how far is it that NECA has come along. You know, this one is the original Godzilla that was released way back in 2014, and it's not terrible, but as you get to see, it did not age well in comparison to the much more newer version of Godzilla Essentially, this is supposed to be the same one as this guy. So yeah, you get to see how big of a difference it is, you know, from where it first started, on over to the new ones. But yeah, this is supposed to interpret the same Godzilla character from the Heisei series. And yes, height-wise, they're about the same height, so that's actually pretty cool. But yeah, remember what I did tell you about the tail, and yeah, this is not good. You know, they used to end up doing these with bendy wire a little too much. There wasn't all that much of articulation. If anything, it was only like about 3 points of articulation right here at the tail. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, and then after that the bendy tail, the bendy wire tail. So yeah, this guy just comes to show you how big of a difference it actually happened. Everything else, the articulation wise, it's basically the same thing, you know, but except for, yeah, essentially, yeah, the exact same thing. The only thing is that, again, the sculpt has actually changed. So anyways, let's go on over to final thoughts. Oh man, do I love this figure. Alright, I do end up loving every single bit of it. I mean, the design is actually pretty cool. As I said, there is some black washes here and there. Now, I did tell you guys that there was a little bit of a blemish that I got from the initial release, but I mean, from the beginning. I don't know if you guys get to see it. Hold on, let me see if I could do a little bit of a close-up. There we go. And I don't think it's gonna happen with all of them, but you get to see that. And there was a little bit of a paint issues here and there. And again, you got to be very picky to end up being able to see them. You know, as it is, you know, I think I'm actually coming off as petty because you don't really get to see it as much. Yeah, there you go. A little bit, you know, there's a little bit here and there. But, oh no, I mean, I'm not going to hold it up against NECA. I think it must have been just a manufacturing error and everything. And it just looks real nice. I do end up loving the design. I end up loving everything about this, the articulation, more importantly the girth out of this Godzilla, because he is supposed to be hefty looking, and more importantly, it's just a shame that NECA is not releasing any more Godzilla suits. You know, I would have actually loved it if we would have seen a 1974 Godzilla or a Godzilla versus Gigan. You know, there's just so many other suits that I would have actually loved to have seen. I think that a Millennium would have actually been pretty good, just by releasing this, the same head with you know, with no scar on it. But either way, it just comes to show to you guys. Oops, almost knocked out my camera. That yeah, there is a drastic change and an advancement that NECA has actually done. So, you know, either way, I'm going to be one of those guys that is actually going to be very vocal with Toho to see if there is any way that NECA can actually get the licensing back, because as I said, I really would end up loving to see some more figures out of this. I hope that you guys end up doing the same as well if you do end up having a love for Godzilla. Anyways, leave a like, share, subscribe, and hope that you guys hope you guys are doing well. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later. Peace. Ooh. Anyways, catch you guys later.